Hello everyone, welcome to another rendition of XGR, the official gaming podcast of the X-Pound. Joining me, as always, is Rick the Hammer,
Hello.
the stay-at-home dad gamer. To check out his stuff, go to, I believe it's sadgamer.com.
Yes.
That's sadgamer.com. And this week, unfortunately, due to, we don't know why, Anastasia Laserbeam is not existing, so replacing her for this week is a very special guest star. You love him, you know him, he's been referenced multiple times through these podcasts. Give it up for Simon.
And fucking tastic. Hang on, Rick, you have a website? What did you do?
Yes.
And as per usual, the format of this show is news, catch up with the games we played this week, and then finally, the topic. And today's topic is apps to do with video games. Or should I say app integration within a video game. So, first of all, with the news, take us away, big guy.
All right. So my first bit of news, pointed out to me by Chris, aka the Mole, and this is
I know that guy.
that in Monster Hunter 4, they are adding Link's weapons and costume, which looks pretty cool. Actually, there's a picture I saw where you get the green tunic Link, and you get a Master Sword for a sword and shield, and it actually looks pretty cool. So looking forward to that when it comes out.
If it helps, there's a trailer for it too.
Oh, is there?
That's
it. I see.
I thought the link had the trailer within.
Yeah, it's at the top. I'm not used to it. I don't know. It looked like a header picture, but it does have a play up button. I did not see that.
I will explain for the people listening. I sent him the link via IGN, and IGN gave me that news. And if Rick does anything like me, because IGN now integrate videos of a guy just reading the news below into their videos, out of instinct, I instantly press pause to shut the video up before I can read.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
I hate that so much. But what does Simon think? Does Simon like Monster Hunter? Does Simon like Link?
Okay, Monster Hunter, I played it back in the day, and I thought they were pretty fucking cool. Link, I've never played any of the Legend of Zelda games, I'm afraid. But I know who the little guy is. And
That's the sound of our audience turning on you.
but it was actually Noel that linked me to the whole. Is it the Rural Warriors thing?
Oh, Hyrule Warriors, yeah. It's coming out on Wii U in September, I believe, so buy that.
Yeah, like, I really want to fucking see that because it looks fucking bad. So
I can't wait till that comes out. I'm going to go to Marcus's house, and I'm actually going to play a game that day. Because he can be like, you want to see this game? And I'll be like, yep, and I'm going to push him over and take the controller.
Can you be
like, you own this. If I don't play it now, I'm taking the disc home with me. Which would you prefer?
Because of the size of Marcus Shadow, you need to borrow James Phoenix's basket, place it on top of him, and sit on the basket while playing.
Just turn a cup upside down over. Tink, 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 tink. Quiet down there.
I just love the idea of you trapping him in a cage, his little fingers reaching through, but I want to play Link. Quiet, you, because you picked the basket.
It has 2-player. No, it doesn't right now.
It has 2-player. Yeah, it does, and I'm currently playing with my drinking bird, and the button bird just leaves back and forth hitting the button.
Put like a vibrator on the X button and just keeps pushing it.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good.
As people listening may already know, we don't take the news seriously. We just give our thoughts and opinions and do enjoy it. But that does sound awesome. I think we've lost Simon.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing me onto this.
You're welcome. This is, and I hope the others don't. If they're not going to listen to it, this is my favourite podcast we do. And I'm in all of them.
If they listen to it.
I'm only in this one. I'm fucking love that already.
Yeah, the only one I'm in is this. The only ones I'm in is this, WXR, Around the Pound, and, well, actually I'm in the one with you, but we haven't. That's more of a a temporary, like, you know what I mean? It's like a part-time one, not a full-time one.
That's more of a get together, let's bitch and just have fucking fun.
Yeah, that's when we get together and meow, because there's no cat sound effect.
They need
Really? You
that too.
don't have a cat sound effect? Come on.
Okay, fine, I'll do a different cat sound effect. Thunder! 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 Thunder cats! Oh!
Okay, that kind of works.
Is it wrong? I did the hand gesture.
Yes, it is.
No.
You would totally imagine me doing it. I gripped, but as you can hear right here in my hand, I gripped my TV remote like a sword and did it. It was the only way I felt natural. But no.
I would
Well,
love to
so that was Victor's one of Victor's news one. Or was that your small news?
Yes, that was my small news.
I wasn't sure because it was Monster Hunter and
Yeah.
Zelda. So I was like, wait, did he go the wrong way? I'm confused.
No.
We live in a world where Richter didn't take Monster Hunter as main news. I'm scared. But no, my small news this week is No Man's Sky, the randomly generated universe exploration title from Hello Games. Well, Hello Games. Is coming to
Maybe a really
PC.
crap impression I made just for some here.
It's exactly what I imagine happens when you walk into like a game shop. You walk in and then just go, "Hello, games.
No.
I will take one Xbox One, please. Does it come in silver? It does not. By God, you have lost a customer." As he folds his scarf over his shoulder and just storms out.
Yes.
What the fuck would I wear a scarf in summer, dude?
Fashion.
Yeah.
It's one of those silk ones, but then I can keep you warm in winter. But yeah.
I don't have a silk one anymore. I lost the fucking thing. For one night
I'm not going to ask where, because that would lead me to a conversation that will disturb me to my very core.
Yeah.
You don't ask him because we're not allowed to do that in Cards Against Humanity anymore.
Yeah. Title from Hello Games. It is coming to PC according to next month's issue of Edge magazine. The magazine that steals people's girlfriends. No. Don't expect to play it on the same day as PS4 owners, though. It's still a timed exclusive on Sony's latest console. Quote from the person, I actually got in a bit of trouble for saying that we wanted the game to feel really console-y. And that is console-y. Console-y. Says Sean Murray, No Man's Sky's managing director. We've always had PC in mind, but in my head, console-y means a solid frame rate and immediate controls. And I think PC games can be console-y, and it's intended as a compliment, but I get in trouble saying it. So yeah. Your thoughts? My thoughts is I like No Man's Sky. I thought it's a genius concept. I'm not going to complain. It's not oh my god, we've lost an exclusive. Ah. I'm just going to say yay because I think more people should experience it.
And yet you already fucking knew that Marcus is going to be the first one to bitch about that.
Probably. But that's only if he watches our show.
Next joke. Oh, Rick, are you a Mega Man fan by any chance?
Not particularly.
That's surprising.
That's awesome, Rick.
Oh.
You're mean.
Why?
He said, are you a Mega Man fan by any chance?
Oh, I thought he said Neverland.
Yeah, and you said not particularly, so I thought you were trolling him. Like, yeah,
No.
He's as much a Mega Man fan as I am Sonic.
Well, probably not that much, but yes, I do like Mega Man.
Well, I know a lot of fucking hardcore Mega Man fans out there, and kind of it's coming to the US Wii U. Next month, I think? I am not. Sorry, this month we're in fucking August. I forgot about that.
Nice.
I'm swearing quite a lot. I apologize. I'd say it's been about.
I'm going to try something. I don't know if this will affect it on Richter's end either, but it do because I am the control room. I am the control room. Say, introduce yourself a bit more, Simon. Tell people your hobbies. Simon, tell people your hobbies for people who aren't familiar.
Do I have to?
Yes. Okay, is he louder to you, Rick?
Yes.
Okay, good. I turned your volume upside because Rick couldn't hear you properly.
Right, alright,
That
cheers.
was just an experiment. We're doing this live and on the fly, people.
Yeah, sorry.
But what was your news again, Si?
Mega Man is coming to Wii U this month. I forgot it was August. Yeah, and currently Konami are going to be live streaming some MGS5 gameplay. So yay, awesome sauce.
Nice. Over to Rick's secondary news. Or big news.
Big news. All right.
Big news. Really big.
Nice. So for the big news, EA announced a subscription service plan on Xbox One for basically you can pay a subscription fee, $4.99 a month, and you can access some of their games. They said 4 so far, which are FIFA 14, Peggle 2, Madden NFL 25, and Battlefield 4. And in addition to a choice of you can either play the $4.99 a month or a $30 for a full year. And supposedly, I've heard that GameStop confirmed that they're going to actually sell the subscription cards, so you don't actually have to buy it directly from Origin, because you're supposed to have Origin to use this service, so you need an Origin account. But you can actually buy the subscription cards either from but pay them directly or buy the card at GameStop, which is kind of cool. And in addition to being able to rent those games, you get a 10% discount on any digital purchases, which I think is really cool. And some titles will have early access. So a few days before a game comes out, like they mentioned Dragon Age Inquisition, that a few days before it comes out, you'll be able to play it like a trial almost for a few hours, and then when that's over, it'll actually save it, and if you buy the full game, you can transfer the trial save over to the full game, which is pretty cool.
It sounds awesome.
That's
I think it's a good idea.
I do too. I kind of wish they had a service like that for all games. I don't mean like on live before someone says that. I mean, I just wish, because EA is good, but that would be cooler for me if it was for all games, which I believe that's what Sony now is. However, I do know EA did say they would have liked to have done this on PS4 in a recent interview, but they said it was part of their exclusive deal with Microsoft, which makes sense. And to be fair, the EA deal is kind of cool. And hell, some people who play like FIFA will play a load of other EA games, for example.
Yeah.
Therefore, that'll be beneficial to them. I totally
if they start
back to it.
Adding older ones, EA has a lot of games. So if they add a lot of their back catalog, that could be a really good deal.
But based on a game I've been playing this week, which I'm not going to say what until we get to it, I do have one small little teeny tiny request for their older games. Include an instruction book if it's a download title. Because, spoiler alert for in a few minutes, one of the games I've been playing this week was the downloaded copy of Mass Effect on PS3. There's nothing in that game to tell me the button layout.
Oh, really? It's not like on the guide menu, it doesn't have the software manual?
No, because that was just before they started to do them. So you had to have the old
that
one.
Sucks.
I'm not insulting the game for that. It was annoying having to constantly go on the fucking having to go on online, look them up just to find out which direction on the D-pad will send my troops where, like which one's rally and team me. So hopefully they do that. Like Wii Virtual Console, for example, with the older games, has added like some sort of manual. But yeah, like that, I liked it.
I think so.
Did you have any other news, Si?
Apparently there's a new tennis video game coming out by Facebench Studios, and they described it as being like between tennis and Street Fighter. So make of that whatever the fuck you will.
All I can think of that is that what the hell was that game called on PS2 or PS1? Oh, I can't remember it now, but you could play as like Pac-Man, and when you played tennis, if a ball would bounce in between you, and it'd get bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it'd explode. It'd explode on impact if it hit the floor. The more you rally it.
Oh, fucking hell, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a great game. I liked that way. It was like boom, 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 and it encouraged you to not just go and miss the ball. It encouraged you to hit it because you needed to keep hitting the ball more and more and more, so it do bigger and bigger damage. And when it exploded, if your opponent missed, it would kill your opponent or lose them health and stuff, which that was kind of cool. As long as it's not Puzzle Fighter where you're playing tennis and in the corner there's little people fighting, that would be okay.
What the fuck was that called?
I love Puzzle Fighter.
I prefer Dream Fighter or whatever it was called. Pocket Fighters, that was it.
Pocket Fighter, yeah.
Where they used the same people. But yeah, Puzzle Fighter was a great game. Where you used to like connect the stuff and it'd be like Hadouken from the little chibi version. Which FYI, Chibi Richter's head needs to be DLC.
Yes.
Just his head. Just his head. Like hell, if the main bad guy in Smash Brothers can be just a hand, why can't Richter have just a head? Yeah. My second.
It would be a cigarette.
It would be, but no, it'd be a cigarette coming out of a troll face now.
Yeah.
But my big news this week is Taylor Kurosaki, former narrative design lead at Naughty Dog, has gone to Infinity Ward. A Naughty Dog veteran of more than 12 years, Kurosaki most notably helped work on the cinematics and the story of the Uncharted series. Very psyched to share that I've joined the phenomenal team at Infinity Ward as the studio's narrative director, Kurosaki tweeted. Jacob Minkoff, former lead game designer at Naughty Dog, is also joining Infinity Ward as well. Minkoff is now design director at the studio. So it sounds like they're actually going out their way to get talent from other places to try and make Infinity Ward even better. I don't see how this can be a bad thing for them. I mean, personally speaking, I haven't enjoyed the Naughty Dog games, but some people have, and I don't see why having those people there, because they have clearly done some good work if it's pleased people, which means I can't see anything bad coming from this. But what do you guys think?
I think that's interesting. It's kind of weird how so many people have left Naughty Dog. But I don't know. This is probably just a baseless assumption on my part, but I feel like maybe they're getting that to try and ramp up the story side of Call of Duty. Because I've heard that a lot of the stories since number 4 on, have been they've like kind of not exactly copied each other, but they had a lot of the same things happen, or there were a lot of similarities. So maybe they're trying to actually, or maybe not necessarily for Call of Duty, but maybe they're actually going to try to ramp up like a story or something. Yeah. Or a new game.
Could do, which would totally work. That's the thing I was like, with when they mentioned the story designer, because in my opinion, and I made this. Some people may disagree, which is cool. I don't think first-person shooters in the vein of Call of Duty. I mean, Wolfenstein can and stuff like that, yes. But in the vein of Call of Duty, I don't think they need a single player that much. It's like a fighting game where you play it for the fighting and the multiplayer. You don't really care about the story too much.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Although at the same time, the story is also equally important to fighting games, and it does make it awesome. But yeah, so now I believe we go over to catch up.
Nice.
First up, Mr. McPagglesworth. What game have you what one of 2 games have you played this week? Because we mentioned 2 on this.
I am getting my ass handed to me on Dark Souls, but I'm delighted to be progressing and killing bosses.
Nice.
Honest to God, I've just killed a fucking big fuck-off goat demon with giant machetes. I think it's the Kappa demon or something. It's annoying because it's got 2 little fucking wolf dog things trying to kill you as well. In a very tight space. I'm just like, fuck, shit, die, and throwing as many bombs as humanly possible.
Well, that also describes how he shops.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's like, get the fuck out of my way. I was like, okay, I can either go toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano with this shit, or I can just be as cheap as humanly possible. I'll take the fucking cheap route any day.
Hey, I say in a game like that, there's no problem being cheap because the game itself, for lack of a better term, is cheap. It's like if I'm playing Mortal Kombat, I'm gonna be cheap against Shao Kahn because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if I was going against Richter, I would try to vary my moveset. But I'm against the computer on some of them where it's like, yeah, I'm like, okay, this is the only thing that's working on him. Fuck it, duck under hammer, bah, get him.
Mind you though, it has been good to get back into video games again, and like with Dark Souls, it's one of those games that screams and demands for you to be patient and to actually fucking take the time to learn it. So it's great to have that experience again, if you know what I mean.
It's no minesweep.
Dude, that game took me years to understand even how to play it. Like,
Which?
I was Minesweeper. Like, I was like 12 and 15. And I was like, I don't understand this game, so I like never played it.
See, when I was in school, we had a minesweeper game where you played as a chicken and you had to hit the blocks. And it did the same thing as Minesweeper, but if you got it wrong, the chicken blew up and died.
I can remember that as well.
I totally loved that, and yeah, I didn't understand how it was like meant to be like mathematically where the block X's were going to be, and based on how you were supposed to work it out. I would do it randomly, be like, boom.
Yeah, that was fun.
But I will say, Dark Souls or Demon Souls, whichever one it was, both of those games do look really good. I haven't actually played them fully yet. I have played one a little bit at a friend's house though, but they do seem pretty cool. I do think those games are good.
They are. Oh, by the way, if you think the pause button actually does anything, no, it fucking doesn't. The game keeps running. I was horrified to find that out the first time round.
Wait till you get a PS4, Si. It's not even a start button.
Oh, thanks to fucking bunch. Okay, the other game that I've actually been playing recently, like, I literally just found it on my shelf again, because, well, I have far too much crap. Like, I have a load of junk. Seriously, it's uncanny. Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Sorry, is it Lord or Lords of Shadows?
Lords of Shadow, I think.
Thank you, yes. The first one of that. And I went to the second boss, I think, which is like a giant ice motherfucker. You've got to climb up and shit. But yeah. You can
Giant ice motherfucker.
Like I said, I plan to pick that up this week. And like I've offered to you, if you want, once I've picked that up, if you've got that game, and I'll offer it to Rick too. I would do plan to review that once I've got that and the second one, and review just the trilogy, if that makes sense. Did you guys want to join us?
I'm totally game for that.
Ricky?
I haven't played it yet.
Damn.
Ah, fair enough. I wasn't sure. My bad.
No, I tried the demo of whatever the 3DS one was, but I haven't.
Mirrors of Fate, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Mirrors
Mirror
of Fate.
something with it. Yeah, Mirror. Yeah, thank you. I tried the demo of that on 3DS. I've heard it's better on when they brought the HD version out. So, but I have yet to try that or Lords of Shadow. I should get around to those. Maybe if we had that awesome coffin edition. Things all.
Lightning just struck that coffin.
Yes.
You know what? I'm loving the game, and me, I've always been a big Castlevania fan from the get-go, and
Yay.
it's a blast to be playing it again.
How do you feel? Just because I'm genuinely curious about this, I'll probably go into more of that when I actually go to review it and stuff. But how do you feel about the gameplay? Because, like I said, I always get mixed feelings with it. Some people love it, and some people are just like, ripped off God of War, and I'm like, I don't know. From what I saw, it doesn't look like it's ripped it off. It just looks like it might be inspired by. But that's okay, because God of War was inspired by a game on PS2 called Ryzen or something.
Oh, fucking remember Ryzen.
Yeah, it actually seems to come out before God of War, and it seems to be exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay. With regards to the combat system, I like it personally, I find it quite fun, especially with all the tricks that you can do, and the fact you get to deploy actual bits of scenery at your enemies as well, which is really cool.
Nice.
And yeah, it might have that sort of Devil May Cry or God of War style to it, but you have to do
Devil May Cry or DMC.
Devil May Cry. Oh,
Oh my
give
god.
it some credit.
Thank God. You had me worried there.
I'll rant about that shit another time. Yeah. If I'm ever remembering things again. But, I like the fact that you actually get to interact with the environment a bit, and it just makes things a bit more interesting for me.
I can see that. But over to Rick for games he's played this week.
Okay. First up, I played some more of the Destiny beta before.
I will warn you, Simon. We have a game on XGR. Drink every time Rick mentions a game you've never heard of.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You're probably safe this week.
I'm gonna have to get some whiskey now, then.
Yeah.
But no, first up was I played some of the Destiny beta before it closed down. We were able to cross-region play, which was cool. And we got to...
region play with?
I don't know.
If you put
No, never mind. The second he said that, I realised it was me. No, never mind.
I thought you were kidding.
I thought it was the week before. And I was like, no, wait,
Yeah.
it was after last.
Yeah, it was
after last WXR.
Yeah. But yeah, that worked really well. Got to the max level in the beta, which was 8. And when they had that special event where they opened up that one quest on the moon, I did that. Sure, it took me an hour to actually get into the game, but whatever. So their stress test, yeah, that didn't work. But the moon looks really cool. Game overall was pretty good. I still don't think it's like the greatest thing I ever played, but it's pretty fun. Definitely punishes you for exploring. So I saw on a message board one guy's like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling the game. One guy's like, you should explore. And I was like, dude, they punish you for exploring.
Right there.
And he's like, yeah, it's not so bad. There's only a couple parts where it's like that. I'm like, yeah, the couple parts where you could explore. Like, you start, and you're like, oh, there's a little house there. Oh, there's stairs downstairs. And there's question mark guys down there. It's like 20 feet from where they spawn you. Like, that's not... Anyway.
Yeah, and the worst part is like those guys in the cave, like I've mentioned in the past, where they came out the cave, and I think Rick was there when I did this. They came out the cave, their level question mark. I finally managed to kill them, Simon, by blasting them the fuck with an overpowered rocket launcher. But I killed them, and I got fuck all for doing so, and there was nothing inside there. And I'm like, why is this a thing? That's just like, okay, if you enter here, you're gonna die. Actually, I think there may have been a treasure thing in there. I'm not sure, but it wasn't anything too worthwhile, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, no. Also, I managed to, at least on the PS3 version, I got all 5 of the golden treasure chests that were on Earth, which gets you a slightly different vehicle. It still can't shoot, but it can brake. It actually has like a parking brake and allows you to turn pretty.
You meant brake isn't stop. You said, but it can
yeah.
brake.
Oh no. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like no, you can slow down. Oh yeah, on the moon they actually had vehicles that have guns on it, and those were awesome. I was like, why can't I get these?
Please tell me the vehicles on the moons were moon buggies.
No, they were still like motorcycles, but they looked more like motorcycles. They look like Power Ranger motorcycles, kind of like hover cycles, but they were pretty cool.
Can I drive a red one through the mouth of a gigantic robotic dragon to kill it instantly and piss off fan bases worldwide?
I'm assuming that that's one of the raids that they're doing.
I will just say one thing with the Destiny beta.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking Yeti.
Well, isn't that the guy you actually managed to kill by throwing him off of a cliff?
I killed him by mistake by blasting a rocket, and he went over the cliff. But I wasn't satisfied with that. Yeah. I looked down the cliff and I couldn't see his corpse. So for all I kind of hoped he'd climb back up. But it was the first time there's a giant Yeti, and he's like a question mark or something. First time I met him, I was like, okay. And I think Rick may have seen it on my PS4 stream. I pulled off the gun, I pointed at him and went, "Dum," and shot him. He was ignoring me till I shot him. He just turned around and goes, "Dum," and knocks me off the fucking cliff and kills me in one hit. When I went back, he'd gone.
He took his points and left.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Are you going to be buying the full game?
At some point. I just don't know when.
Fair
And
enough.
I don't know which system either.
When your left lets you.
If I got like a PS4, I'd probably get, before I got the game, I'd probably just get the PS4 version.
I will warn you, something I found awesome, and then something I found stupid. Awesome, your PS3 character can move to the PS4 and vice versa.
Oh.
But you can't play against PS3 people if you're on the PS4.
Hmm.
And I'm like, but you're sharing a server. Why?
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't like how online heavy it is either.
Yeah.
It's not an MMO.
Well, yeah, I mean, it took me an hour to log in so I could do one mission on the moon.
Yeah. But, which other game have you played this week?
Okay, the other one I played was Destroy All Humans Path of the Furon on Xbox 360.
Nice.
I was about to take a sip, but I'd heard of Destroy All Humans.
Yeah,
How
no,
the fuck it?
I haven't played the first two, well, I guess there's three before that one, but I heard the third one's not very good. Well, of course, people didn't like this one. And I do definitely want to try the first two, because it was pretty good. It's very buggy, though. That's probably why THQ's not around anymore. But it was, like, I think on sale for $4 a week ago, so I was like, yeah, I'll try it. It's pretty good. I beat it, got all the side missions, all that nonsense. But it's pretty good, but definitely buggy. It's funny. Yeah, not great, but the saucer parts are really fun. Like, just destroying the city is great. And my kid always come up like, "Can I play the game with the UFO where you blow up the buildings?" I'm like, "Calm down. Like, not right now. Daddy's playing it."
Just be grateful there wasn't Ninja Turtles in that ship, or people would be making 9/11 references. Fucking internet.
Okay. The fact that people got that, it's like, come on, dude.
I love that wasn't it coming out on that day too.
Yeah, it was coming out on September the 11th in Australia, not America. And that was the thing we'd mentioned where people were suddenly all anal about it, being like, "No, it's a travesty. You're insulting 9/11. You're parodying 9/11." It's like, it's one building blowing the fuck up with turtles jumping out of it. And it comes out on that date in Australia. It doesn't have nothing to do with 9/11. You're looking for offense.
Yeah.
Like I said, that would be like saying, I step outside and it's nighttime and there's an African American person out here and I say, "Oh, it's dark out here." "Oh, no, I've just been racist."
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm just responding to the fact I can't see. There's no light. No, we lost Simon. Yay, we gained Simon. I think Simon's bugging in and out a little bit in case you see two of the little blue people. But like I said, I haven't played the...
You got a card. It's twins. Put two people on the back.
Yes. I haven't played that Destroy All Humans game. I'd played the first one, maybe two, and I hadn't played the sequels. I kind of wanted to, but when the other ones came out, they were like right next to like Grand Theft Auto and other games. I'm like,
right.
That's a big mistake.
Yeah. At least the one I played definitely has a Grand Theft Auto vibe. Like, go here, do a mission. There's a lot of like free roaming and stuff.
Oh yeah, there was, but I'm like, you don't release that around the time of.
Yeah.
In my opinion, from now or from next month, I should say, from September to December, is what I always refer to as the dates of death. If you're a small company, don't release your games there. If your game is really obscure or really shit or not that popular, don't release it there, because it has to compete with Call of Duties, Battlefields, fucking Halos, fucking Grand Theft Auto. All the big hitters all come out at that date. You're stupid to put your game there.
Yeah.
People are fucking morons.
They are. But you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. There were some a couple of frustrating parts. It's not like the greatest game, but it was pretty fun. It was definitely worth the $4 I paid.
Nice. I've played 2 games this week, which I will talk about. First one I've played, which I, I will say for anyone that likes this game, I will say cool. This is just my opinion. It's not necessarily the thing with the game. First one is Mass Effect, which I have mixed feelings on it.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of that with the control pad, because I understand that it came out before they did the digital stuff, and I downloaded it digitally afterwards. I can understand that. My biggest thing with that is all the glitches, the bugginess, and just how bad some of the gameplay is. Like, I'm playing as a female Commander Shepard. On my team, I have what's her name? Liana, I think her name is.
Liara.
Liara. I have Liara
Yeah.
and Tally with me.
Mm.
Cool.
I press the button to call them towards me, and a male's voice says, "Come over here," and I'm like, "What? Well, come to me. Go over here." And I'm like, "She's not Batman or Scorpion. What the fuck? She's a female. Shouldn't it be? Please come over here." It should or, come over here. It shouldn't be a man's voice giving these commands. What the fuck?
I don't remember that. That's funny. Now I kind of want to look at that because my wife has a female shepherd,
Yeah.
and I don't remember that.
Yeah, what I'm having with my female shepherd is either complete silence, every now and again a female command. When you do the command, she will say the right one, but sometimes it's just the male one. I'm like, that's wrong. The other bugs or annoyance for me is more than any other BioWare game. The choices are stupid. Like, I have three choices of why Joker, question mark, or good job Joker, or you did a bad job Joker. I clicked good job Joker, and she goes, why Joker? That may have been bad back there, but you did a good job. And I'm like, that's all the options at once. What the fuck? Or you say something that's completely different to what was written, and I'm like, no, that sounds closer to one of the other choices that was listed. What the fuck? And that car, but I have enjoyed some of the choices I've been making so far. Like, I let the Queen live, the alien Queen. I've tried to bed Liara as my female shepherd because I'm sorry, she kind of had me with, yeah, I will totally have sex with anybody of any species and any gender. Huh? You know what I mean? Huh?
Of course.
She didn't quite say it like that, but I took it that way.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yeah. And when I was like, okay, I'm gonna bed her. Later on, I'm speaking to her, and she says, "Oh, aren't?" But she got when I slightly flirt with her, she goes, "But aren't you and guy I can't remember his name, generic white dude."
Kaiden?
Thank you, Kaiden.
Yeah.
She's like, "Aren't you and Kaiden and Item?" I'm like, "No, me and him are just friends." I then go to speak to him afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, hello, Commander Shepard," and he's looking at me all nice, like he's in love with me. So I picked the option of, I am your commander. You will respect me as such. Blah 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 blah. And he goes, okay, fine. I'm just your subordinate. Fair enough. And I'm like, good. There's that little landmine diffused. I know that was kind of bitchy, but still. Ironically, I'm equally good and bad right now, Rick.
Wow.
Yay! I've actually got my Paragon and Renegade points to be balanced. So yay.
I remember when I was playing Mass Effect, I was going for the most sociopathic options on demand.
Yeah, I've done that before now, but I'm playing this more realistically. I want her to make the right choices for what I think her character is,
Mm.
and I will admit, early on in the game, I was like, because it was like the good options 2 Paragon points, bad options 10 Renegade points, and the orange just overtook my blue by fuck until I was on the colony. When I actually decided to give them food, water, power, and help them all out, and I got shit ton of Paragon points, which boosted it up to the same as my Renegade. I'm like, okay, cool. It's balanced out now. But I'm not playing her as evil. I'm playing her as both, if that makes sense. Like, if you piss her off, she will put a bullet in your head. But she's not going to, like she said when she let the Queen go, she's not going to kill an entire race. That's not her. And yes, I will be carrying her on for all 3 games, so she will slightly evolve. Like, in the second game, which was my favourite one, in the second game when she's part of the corporation, I'm totally going to play her like... I'm going to slightly play her more arrogant, if that makes sense, and a little bit more like, fuck off, I'm Shepard.
Fuck off, I'm Shepard.
That should be a response button on every Mass Effect game. Will you help me? Yes. No, help yourself. Fuck off, I'm Shepard.
I would love to see that.
But I also don't like that vehicle, whatever the vehicle's called.
Is that the weird buggy thing?
I don't know, what's it called, Rick? The tank?
The Mako.
Yeah, I don't like that one, only because, although I don't mind it now I've gotten used to doing something, which the game didn't tell me to do, it told me to do the opposite of this. I was in the tank, and I was pointing the cannon at people and firing it, every time, and it was perfect bang-on shot, the bullet would go through them and explode behind them, and they'd live, and I'm like, okay, fuck this, and I'm sick of my tank blowing up. Every time I get near enemies now, I get out the tank and just start shooting them with like my acid rounds and grenades and shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do, and it gives me a bit more XP, ironically. I'm now level 32, but like I said, overall, I'm kind of enjoying it. Like I said, I've got some problems with it, but I am enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I don't full out hate the game, if that makes sense. But yay! And I also want to throw out a shout out to Richter. If he's, I was about to say if he's listening. Of course he's listening. He's in the conversation. I want to throw a shout out to Richter. When I finished all 3 of these, would you like to join me for a Mass Effect trilogy review? If you've played all 3, I assume you have.
I have not played. I have not played the third one.
Fair enough.
And I only went through, I think, half of the second one.
Kind of.
Fair enough.
All of them.
Yeah, today I went through the store because I've got all 3 on the console. I downloaded all the free DLC for the third game. Oh my god, was there a shit ton.
Really?
Most of which I don't really want, like multiplayer maps and stuff, and it's like shitload of multiplayer maps, and the ending is now free. I want to spend $11.99 though, because there is one mission I want for the third game, which is DLC, which I really fucking want. I don't know what it's called, but basically the mission is, I don't remember the DLC names, but I was looking at the description. The description is Commander Shepard and his crew have a day off, and during their day off, we're going to spend time with friends from the first 2 games. And one of the first ones on the row is Miranda from the second game, who's my favourite Mass Effect character ever. And I'm like, yes, okay, fuck off and take my money. You're giving me more Miranda. Shut up, and I'm just throwing money at the screen. Take my money! I have to pick that up later.
That might be the Citadel one.
It might be that, the Citadel.
I always hear people are like, if you get any of the Mass Effect 3 DLC, get the Citadel one, because it supposedly tied in stuff from the first 2, and that might be. I don't know what the content was, other than people were always like, oh yeah, the Citadel one, get that one.
Yeah, it does make sense, because I think it mentioned the Citadel, so it might be the Citadel one. I haven't played through that at all, because obviously I've got to buy it. It looks good, and it sounds good. Admittedly, it's probably not what I'm thinking. I'm just glad, because, hey, yay, more Miranda. Woo! And more other people, but Miranda, woo! But yeah, I kind of want to see my Commander Shepard like laying in a hot tub, chilling with friends, and having like a beach party with like hamburgers and shit. That's kind of what I want. But I think, Rick, you'll be able to answer me this. You know, in the second game, can you edit yourself when you import your character?
I think you can edit the facial features. I don't think you can edit the backgrounds, like the I don't even remember if that carried over, but like if you were a veteran or a spaceborn or something.
I just meant the look.
Yeah, I believe you can do the look and the class and stuff because of how they bring Shepard into the second game.
Because of how they bring her in and how long's it been in between games.
Yeah.
I kind of want to edit my appearance to have longer hair and maybe like a Zuko scar or something.
There you go.
So it matches, but yeah, that's enough of Mass Effect 1 and random talk about other Mass Effects. My other game I played this week, which I may have mentioned last week, but I can't remember, Ultra Street Fighter 4.
I believe so, because I think you talked about the YouTube feature.
Oh yeah, they had the YouTube feature. I've been playing it as multiple people. My favorite Street Fighter character of all time, ironically, like I mentioned to someone the other day, probably came from Super Street Fighter 4. I'm sorry, I really love Juri.
She's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, they made her such a great character. I'm like, yes. Before that, my favorite characters were always Akuma and Ryu. And then now with her, I'm like, yeah, I like her more than those two, ironically. And I'm disappointed because they're going to do a fifth game, and I'm like, ugh, I hope the fifth game isn't set after 3. I hope it's set after 4. I know it sounds weird, 4 set in, for people who don't know, 4 set in between 2 and 3, because I don't want to lose her.
Mm.
Unless they do it after 3 and she's there back. But I actually kind of want to play in between 4 and 3 for one reason as well, which they have mentioned they're doing a Street Fighter 5 for 2018. But I do want to play in between those two, because I assume you've played all the Street Fighters, Rick, or some of them at least.
Yeah. Yes.
The third game, Shadow Low, is officially been defeated.
Right.
Street Fighter 4, they're in full effect, and they have a splinter group within them called SIN or Sin. And I'm like, oh, okay, so what the fuck brought them down? That's a story I want to be in the next game, because I think that's an interesting story. The downfall of M. Bison. But yeah, I was playing with them. Like I said, my favourite's still Jury, and I've been playing through them mainly, and I played through them a bit with the Crispy when he was here, just to show him, because he loved them too. I love what they added with Super Street. I think they added it with Super, but it's definitely there in it was definitely there in Super Arcade, and it was definitely there in Ultra. I think it was Super when they added it, but the cinematic opening and endings are done like a proper anime cartoon.
I don't think they had that in Super.
They didn't have in the original 4th one. That
No,
was kind of disappointing.
yeah.
But I think it was Super they added them. I can't remember, but it might be Super Arcade they added them. But it was definitely in Super Arcade, because I have Super Arcade, and then I upgraded to this one, and I had Super too. But I just like them because they put a lot of effort into it, and I understand. Back in the day, Street Fighter wanted to just do the text with the picture on the SNES and stuff. That worked. Doing that on the console with Street Fighter 4, the gameplay was fucking phenomenal, but the ending just felt disappointing nowadays to have just text. So the actual videos are kick ass, and I don't recommend this often, but if you don't want to go out and buy Ultra Street Fighter or Street Fighter or any of the Street Fighter 4s, YouTube the endings and openings of different characters, like the Poison one.
That was fucking awesome.
Poison, she starts off in a wrestling ring, and she's like, come on boys, come at me. Then the next scene is all them being carried off in ambulances as she looks bored. And you're like, okay, what's going on here? And she's recruited, her story is she's recruiting people, Rick. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome, because I think they added her for Ultra, but they're like, and I'm like, cool, she's recruiting people, cool. Okay, and she had a wrestling thing, she's recruiting them for a wrestling organization, cool. And it gets to the ending, and she's recruited them for a fucking rock band, and they have like, and it's loads of Street Fighter people with Kiss makeup, fucking with guitars and shit.
I think Bison was on the drums, wasn't he?
I want to see that.
Fucking
Yeah, you need to. It's one of the greatest things ever. Yeah, Ultra Street Fighter 4. Like I said, I think Ultra comes out on a disc on its own for people without the previous ones this month. Totally check it out. Great game. So now we're moving over to our topic, which is the apps for video games, or app integration. Because I will say, for the record, I don't mind apps for video games. Example, I got an app on my Galaxy tablet thing for my nephew for Skylanders, which kept a checklist of all the figures you've purchased by ticking them off. That's cool. What I'm referring to is when they integrate those apps as part of the game, and what people feel about that. A big example of this. Sorry, you go, Rick.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say that one big example I think would be the Division that's coming out. Seems like it has a huge one. It's like the other player could control the drone or something.
When you said it has a huge one, I so wanted to make an innuendo.
Has a big Star Trek over it.
Yeah, so that gives me a huge Star Trek. But no, it was, a great example of that would be Call of Duty Ghosts, which did a feature, something that just pissed me off. It still pisses me off. The previous Call of Duty games, you could make a clan. In case you're wondering what a clan is, people, it's basically a... trying to think how to word the clan. It's basically
Guild?
a group. Yeah, it's basically a guild or an army or something like that, but of your own thing if you hadn't played them. But yeah, it's basically a guild. Basically, you can make your own clan. You can edit them. You can add people and stuff like that. Call of Duty Ghosts made it so you needed the app to promote people, to change the logo, to do a load of features of editing guilds. You needed the app. Me and Crispy made a guild for the X Pound because we had it, and so did Stacy and stuff. We literally had to get him to download it on his phone to
Wow.
fucking alter a load of stuff to do with the clan, just so our clan would actually be usable. And it's like, oh, that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, that's wow.
And it's like you mentioned with Tom Clancy's The Division. There's no reason that couldn't have been a split-screen game.
Yeah.
Or online co-op, where if you join someone's game online, you can play as the drone to assist them through the story. I don't like where it's going, where you have to have apps to do basic features.
Yeah. Well, I understand that there are a lot of people with smartphones, but if you're buying like a $400 or $500 machine, you don't necessarily have the rest left over for it, and not everyone's gonna get an actual smartphone, so it's kind of dumb to shove these features in. And like you said, yeah, it's like almost like a core part of the gameplay. They're like, oh no, that's everyone has a smartphone, right? No. Oh well, too bad. You'll get one. No, I already paid for your game. I don't want to have to pay then for a unrelated device just so I can play the rest of it.
Yeah, I have no problems with the smartphone apps for games. Like if it was like Mass Effect had one where it was like an iOS game and it was like all Mass Effect stuff to tie in gaps. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
checklists, cool. Or manual,
Yeah.
or news, cool. Just don't remove the main feature because, like Rick said, not everyone's going to have it. And even if everyone does have it, it's actually ironically. When you're saying, get this, it's more convenient. It's more convenient to edit the stuff in the game than it is to turn on a different device and start doing on a little tiny screen.
Yeah.
By making it more convenient, you've lost the convenience. But what does Simey McBarrington think?
Simey McBarrington.
Aw.
Dude. So bad.
Simey McBarrington.
Oh.
No, okay, I will ask you properly. Simon, what do you think about app integration with how we're discussing it?
Honestly, I'm a bit more. I'm kind of on the opposite scale of that for you guys, in which I don't think that it should be integrated. I mean, yeah, you got.
That's not the opposite of us. That's the complete exact same thing as us. We were saying we don't mind the ones that aren't integrated into the game. We hate it when it's core features ripped out the game and put on a device which you need in order to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with the fucking iPhones and all that shit. Or the tablets or whatever. It's must have apps to get this shit. It's like the fucking DLC video games, Like, come on.
Yeah, I can see that.
I have money for it. It's a waste of fucking time.
Yeah. Which, like I said, DLC, I can understand if it's made afterwards, but some of it's ridiculous with the DLC as well, which is another money-grabbing thing. And I will also say with DLC, I don't know if this is slightly off topic, but I'll say because Simon's actually here. I feel sorry for people like Simon. I don't know about you, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
No, this isn't a joke.
Well, yeah, I was like, in what way? I need to hear that before I...
Oh, sorry, it was when you went, oh god, it's building to a joke. I was just,
no.
I'm so dickish usually, it's like people expect it, so, no, he doesn't have a PSN account. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you go to a shop and you buy like a limited edition version of the game they've re-released later, shouldn't they have the DLC actually on the disc instead of what some of them do, where they give you the codes inside the box to download the DLC? Shouldn't they just put it on the disc?
That would be preferable, but they don't like to do that.
They don't want to do that because pre-owned games. No, you could get pre-owned DLC. No, no.
Like, pisses me off, Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if
like, for example, that Castlevania game you're playing right now, Lords of Shadow. The one I want to buy, which I'm buying literally today for us, because it's now Saturday. The one I'm going to buy is literally the one that comes with literally like. Sorry, I just had to fill that in for our Stacey audience. But yeah,
Bless.
the one I'll be buying is the one that comes with DLC for the first game, and it comes with the second game as DLC, and it comes with a demo. I'm pretty sure some of that I'm going to have to download.
Of course.
Like, I'll imagine they'll probably put the demo on the disc to be nice. But I'm like, you're only putting the demo on the disc, because even if I buy this pre-owned, it's still an advertisement for your game. I don't see a problem with with doing that. Or I reckon some companies should do what they do with, I can't believe I'm saying this, what they do with some PC stuff.
Mhm.
For example, take a game like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a game. Let's take the wrestling game.
Mhm.
They should do the DLC like they always do the wrestling game. But let's say Simon, in his infinite wisdom, decides to go out and buy WWE 2K15.
Probably
He's
never gonna
playing
happen,
it,
but
and he wants to. Yeah, but he goes out and he buys, and he wants the DLC. He doesn't have a PSN account, because his PS3 is in a place where I can't connect to the internet properly or something. But let's assume he does that. In a couple of months' time, after all the DLC is out, when it's out in January, how about February releasing a disc like they do with expansion packs on PC, just called WWE 2K15, the DLV expansion or something like that, and make it clear that Gamer picked that up, they put that in, and it will install it onto your console for the same price as the DLC.
Mhm.
You got it on a disc. I think that'd be much better for a lot of people. A lot more people would find it convenient too, because not everyone has download limits. Some people have download limits.
Or or there are lots of people that, or a fair amount that live a place where there's really bad reception, if that makes sense. So like their internet download speeds are just terrible. So even if it's like a gig and a half, it'll take them like a week. And when it's much more convenient to just go to a store and buy the disc.
Poor non-fiber optic bastards.
I know.
He says smugly with a Simon-like smile upon his face.
So that would be a game from like Smile.
Again from Bleach Smile. And also remember to keep joining us this Christmas, where the peg's heart grows 2 sizes this year.
Fuck off.
It's not because he's learning to love or anything like that. He just has a heart disease.
That's a fucking punch.
It's actually quite tragic. But no, like I said, with the app integration, they're taking away features, and that's annoying me. It's like with the online multiplayer and stuff, where they take away local multiplayer in favor of online. And I can understand it on a game like I said, I can understand on a game like Aliens v Predator, where you have stealth, and part of the game is getting into locations to hide as like an alien or a predator, so you can get the Marines, because if you're moving, they're going to be killing you, or your cloak doesn't work. I can understand that. However, a game like, say, The Grid, I think it was the first Grid, I think the second or third one may have had it split screen, but the first one of The Grid, it's a racing game. Fucking racing games on Mega Drive and SNES had that. Some shooters don't have local co-op, and I'm like, come on, that's the best part of GoldenEye 64.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta admit though, when you have shit like that, and it's like, okay, I'm just doing a bad impersonation of Stacy now for the likes. Yeah, but when you have all this crap and they don't bother to finish the actual fucking whole thing, and so it's just like, oh no, you're not getting that. No, we're gonna fucking release a half-ass game and give you the rest of the half-ass shit. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, I do have another suggestion with the app integration.
Alright.
PS3, PS4, and I think Xbox 360 and Xbox One, I believe they can, it'd be stupid if they couldn't, because I know like we can as well. So obviously all of them can, even PC. They can download apps. They even have an app section on the PlayStation Store. So why don't they include these apps for these games? Because that'd be another cool little thing. Like, let's say they have an app that Tom Clancy, The Division, where you're meant to play that little hover thing, Stephen Hawking's wheelchair, basically, but hovering.
Right.
And with as much firepower. No, it's a case of let's say I download that app. I could then play you using my PS3 on that game and have the benefits of the apps. Well, let's say you had it. Or let's say I had the game and Richter didn't buy it, which is unlikely because I know Richter's more likely to buy that game than me. But let's say I had it. I could be like, Richter, what? I'm dying. Save me, Barry. And then Richter just keys up his app and enters the game and comes blasting, guns blaring, and just comes to save the day. But what do you think about that idea, Rick, of the possibility of including those apps on the stores of the consoles, if they're important parts of gameplay?
Yeah, I think that would make sense, or even just like a PC version. You know, at least, yeah, some other way that's not tied to it. Oh, that's half related. But yeah, sometimes the apps, it's like only on like iOS or something, and you're like, well, not even if people have a smartphone, not all of them have an iPhone. And so putting on one or the other. So I would say, yeah, if they can put it either on the store or like on the computer, so you can at least use it, then I could get behind that. Even though I would prefer it be an extraneous thing, you know, like with the checklist for Skylanders or something. I'd still prefer that, but if they're insisting on making one, at least have a PC capable one, or yes, on the markets for the systems.
Yeah, or like you said, don't just do iOS, make it Android too, because Black, you motherfucker. Save me, Barry. That'd have been if we'd gone the route Jim wanted of naming stuff so people wouldn't be able to find it. This episode should have just been called XGR. Save me, Barry.
I would fucking love that.
But no, it's just a case of, like I said, the app integration. Yeah, I think we've exhausted this topic because we're pretty much all in agreement. So yeah, I was your host, Chris A.K. and I will also remind you, coming up next month, we have a special month planned for XGR in which we will be going through the greatest and worst video games of all time. And that will be all month, where we do like a list of our different categories, like say best MMO, worst MMO, best games involving mutated turtles, worst game involving mutated turtles, best game involving a fat plumber that can jump, worst game involving a fat plumber that can jump. No, I'm kidding with those ones, they're too oddly specific. But we will be going with genre-based ones. So, yeah, check that out. And hopefully with that, we will be joined by Pew Pew. I was your host, Chris, a.k.a. The Mole. Thank you for joining us, Simon. It was a pleasure to have you for once.
Cheers, mate.
And as always, thank you to the stay-at-home dad gamer. That's sadgamer.com, SAHD gamer.com, all one word.
Well, thank you for having me.
See ya.